Hey everyone, welcome to a RenderSpaz video tutorial, and today we're going to create automotive brake rotors in 3D Studio Max, and we're going to do this quite simple way, and it's more effective when it comes to using the Boolean modifier. And I wouldn't say this is the correct way to do this, but also it's a fast, kind of dirty, but actually the results come out quite nice, and this is pretty much all I need. This kind of quality is all I really need for putting this on one of my car models and getting some nice close-up shots. I believe this is going to work just fine. So it's a simple way, and again, we're not going to go into any quad model, doing the quads, and but we're going to do the Boolean operation and try to simplify it a little bit here. So let's get to it, and let's see what we can come up with. All right, so let's move this guy off the screen. And we'll start by going into our top, or actually, I'll go to top view here. We'll come in and we'll pick a tube. Okay, so we'll drag this out. Okay, we don't need it too big here, maybe something like this. Let's bring this down. Okay, we got some height, that's okay. We can adjust all this in just a minute here. What I'm going to do is going to just right click on some of these guys here to bring them to 0. Okay, now just center this guy in the grid, and we can come in and say we want, let's see, I'm going to go 156. Okay, so we're going to get a nice smooth model here. Okay, the segment's set to 1, and we're just going to bring our height segments down. Sorry, not our height segments, we're going to bring our height down, okay, to a thickness like this. For now, I might go with 1.5. That's good. And let's see, I might bring our second radius down just a bit. So let's go 24. Sorry, not 24, or not 14, 24. And then we'll do 45. Okay, something like this. Right. Okay, we're looking good. So we right now have a disc that we can use. That's going to be our brake rotor. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we can come up and start to build our profile of what our Boolean operation is going to be. And let's just, so if I bring up our reference photo here, you can see what we're going to do is we're going to just build these holes, and we're going to get these little slots here. Okay, that's where the slotted rotors look here. We're going to use a couple just simple primitives here. Okay, so we're going to come up and select the cylinder. Okay, we're going to go to wireframe mode here, and we're just going to drag this out here. Okay. I'm going to make sure that we are going through this guy. And we'll do this also at 56. Oh, 56. And segments to 1. Okay. Go to our top view here. Might want to make this guy a little bit bigger. Okay, something like this. Okay, and as we see here, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 holes that will kind of curve. So let's bring this in X. Let's just drag this guy out here. Let's do 3. Okay, let's give this enough. Whoops. Let's give this a nut. I keep wanting to grab our disc there. Okay, let's bring this out. About 3. This needs to be a little bit bigger anyways. Okay, we'll just kind of get this in a good spot here. Then what we'll do is we're just going to curve this. I'm going to do this by eye. Okay, get a little slight curve going on there. Alright, so we're going to call this disk. Start naming things. And these are going to be the holes we're going to cut out. Okay, and I'm just going to attach these guys together here. Okay. So I might just want to do a little slight adjustment. To this guy here. All right, so now once we have this the hole set up, we have to change our pivot, okay, or where our gizmo is here. So what we got to do is we're going to come up to, we have our adjust pivot, okay, we're going to say effect pivot only, okay, so now we have it activated, and what we're going to do is come down to the bottom, and we're just going to bring this guy, we're going to right click until it says 0 to each of these, and that's in the center of the grid, okay. So it's crucial to have everything centered to the grid so that when we use the next tool here, which is going to be the array tool, okay, everything's going to work properly here, okay. So right now what I'm going to do is going to preview what we're going to be modifying here, okay. So if I do 36, as you can see on the Z, I did 36 on the rotation. We now have a nice even distribution of the of our cylinders here, okay, and this is going to line up quite nice. So this is already giving us the nice slotted, not slotted, but the holes that are in between these slots here, okay. So we're going to have to do the same thing for the slots, and we can get on that next. So, and go from there. Okay, so we're looking good here so far. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this all as one mesh. So we just need to grab our first guy here, okay, and we're just going to go to attach to the list, and we're going to make sure that they're all together here, unless I did something wrong here. Oh, I think I made these as instants. Okay, so when you're in your array tool, make sure you have copy, okay, not instance. That's okay, I can fix this very easily. I just have to grab all these guys, convert them as an editable poly. I believe that will get rid of it, and it did. So now I can just come in, and we can now attach all these guys together. Okay. Go to the top view here, we can now add in our little slots. So we're just going to look for something like a capsule, and that should do it for us to give us that kind of effect that we're looking for with the slots. So we'll just come over to our extended primitives, and we'll see where it says capsule here. We'll drag this out. The top view here, I'm just going to angle snap here and rotate this 90 degrees. Okay, and we'll just drag this guy up, get it in position. Go to perspective mode here real fast. And then we can just kind of play with how this is going to look. Okay, so let's do 0.8. I believe that should do. We're going to angle this about 25 degrees. Okay, so make sure your angle snap is on, and you'll see you'll have 25. If you want to change your angles, you can always come into your angle here and change it. I'm just going to leave it as for every 5 degrees. It will change. So we have it getting a little bit more here to the center between the two, and we can let's give it a little bit more height. Okay, just close like that. That should do. And then what we can do here is, again, just with the capsule here, we'll just call them slot. Slot. Okay, we'll go over to our adjusting pivot, effect pivot only, and we'll center this guy. And what you'll notice here is that we have it angled here towards in the local space of the mesh. What we just got to do is just reset our transform here, and it'll go back to the world space. Okay, and then what we're going to do now is just just got to go over to our edit tool, and then tools, and then array, and then as you can see, again, it's at 36 degrees by 10. This is perfect. We hit OK. Okay, we'll make sure we preview what we're doing here. We hit OK, and you're good to go. Okay, so we're gonna just sink this guy in, and it is sunk in quite nice. I might want to do a little bit more here, but before I do that, I don't know if I just went and just undo this real fast. Again, go to array, make sure it's not an instance, hit OK, and away we go. Okay, I can convert this to an editable poly, and then what I'll do is attach with our list to the slot of all of the other ones here, so they're binded as one mesh. And maybe I'll just scale them up a little bit and then just bring them and sink them in a bit more. Okay, like that. Okay, so our setup is looking quite nice, and if I attach all these guys together, okay, this can be our cutout. And this should be pretty much one big operation that will happen across the board of this disk. We should get all the cutouts that we want and our indents. But before I do this, I'm just going to get a little bit of edge work done to the disk. So what we can do is we can leave this actually as a tube in the stack. We can just come over and say editable poly. Okay, we'll grab this edge here, this edge. Okay, it doesn't matter. We can grab an edge here and grab an edge down here. We're going to hit loop. We're going to chamfer. Okay, I'm going to say 0.12 and maybe give it 1. Say a bunch of edges here. Smooth it off. I'm going to say 8. Okay. Perfect. So now we got a little bit of an edge there, and that's going to sell for when the light hits that angle there. We're going to get some nice highlights there. Okay. So let's get in with the Boolean operation. Let's hope it all goes well. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to our main tab here, or our create tab, and we're going to come down to our drop down list. We're going to go to compound objects. From there, we're going to see there's Proboolean. Okay. Now you got to select your object, click Proboolean. I'm just going to say start picking. Okay. So we're going to pick just here, and it should cut out the object. Let's give it a minute. Hopefully no crashing. Everything should go nicely as planned. And guess what? We have a very nice looking cutout. Okay? So, if this worked correctly, we're going to be able to bevel the edges just a bit for each of these. So the inset, or the slot that's here, and also the holes, we should be able to get a nice edge around there to complete, just to give us a little bit more of some high quality here to this mesh. Okay, so at this stage you'll have the Proboolean, okay, in the disk, and what you want to do here at this point is go into your modifier list here. We're going to hit EF, okay, and hit editable mesh, and if you select your polygon selection here, you're going to see that you got all the inner sections of your holes and slots that have been jotted out. So now what we can do is add a bevel to this. So we just want to make sure that our bevel is on local, and when we hit bevel, we do the operation, that everything is going to look quite nice. Okay, and that's going to just give us a little bit of roundness towards the edge. It looks a little bit machine cut, and it just looks a little bit more natural. So that's all we really need to do with that, and that's going to give us a little bit of some nice highlights. Okay, so move this guy around. You can see we got a nice edging here. All right, so we pretty much got a nice cutout, and we have our slots cut it out quite nice. Everything's looking really cool. If you want, we could also, hopefully I didn't wreck this yet. Let's undo until I get the selection again. I wonder, does this have a grow tool here? I don't know if the editable mesh does. I don't believe it does. Oh, that's okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to select the whole entire mesh. Okay, we're going to put a smooth modifier, or not a smooth modifier, but we're going to throw in a smoothing group. Okay, but we'll select these guys here. Okay, and then we can just give them a non-smoothing group. This way nothing gets really funky there. So if I was to view this here, we got some nice smoothness here on the edges, and that's looking quite nice. Okay, so this is perfect. This is exactly where we want to be with the rotor, and as you can see, we have quite a similar design between the two, and we're heading in the right direction now. I mean, these guys got some extra holes. Like, again, if you want to play with the array tool to get extra holes here, I showed you kind of a glimpse of how you would do that. Go for it. But we'll continue to build the rest of this rotor. All right, so our next step is to get the center piece in. So we can do that. We'll go to the top view here, and we're going to drag out a cylinder. Okay, somewhere close to the edge here. All right. Something like this. And then we'll just kind of just bring this height down a bit. Okay, something like that. And then we're just going to make sure we have the same amount. I believe this was 156. Okay, and we'll give it a cap segment on both sides, and then we can edit this guy. So we're going to convert this to an editable poly. Select these guys here. Let's delete. Go. And we'll just grow these guys, delete this guy out, so now we have a hollow shell. And I think I'm just touching, yeah, I'm inside here. So what I want to do, make sure this guy is center, which it is here in the grid. And what we can do is come to our scale. Let's just scale this down a bit just so it's not hitting those edges. Okay, now that'll do. Okay, so we need to make this hole on the top a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to loop. We'll just drag this down. Okay, and if I hold shift, I can make another set of edges here. And then I'll just bring these guys down a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a bevel. And then what I'll do is just hold shift and just drag one more time. Okay, and then in this set here we can, let's see, I can grab actually both these edges here and just chamfer them. So we get something that looks a little bit okay, something like that. give us a little bit of an edge. That way it hits the light nicely. Okay, and we're going to go a little further in just a minute with this. But we also want to give ourselves a nice edge here on the corner. So we can loop, chamfer. Let's bring this, let's go 8. Okay, that's quite smooth. That's good enough. All right, and you can see already we just built in that centerpiece of where our the bolts and everything are going to go. Okay, where this will go on top of where our wheel is going to be. But we're not going to have the car model here, but we're just going through the process here. So, all right, so the next thing I want to tackle here, and this is very interesting, is we have this beveled edge here that looks like a weld pretty much between the two. I used a very interesting script called, actually here, let's go pull it up. Okay, and it's called the Welder script. This is from Joker Martini. If you search him on Joker Martini 3D or 3D Studio Scripts, you'll see that he has on his site a script called Welder. Okay, and it's free download, and it's great for adding little extra details like welds and things like that. If you want to weld handlebars or whatever it is that you want, you can use a script, and it goes a long way for stuff like this, especially a lot of machinery and that kind of stuff. So let's grab the edge here. Let's make an edge and hit connect. Okay, and this is where our weld is going to be. You'll see how powerful this little script is. Okay, excellent work, by the way, Joker Martini. This is a very, very awesome tool here. Okay, and let's hit the edge weld. Okay, and you can see already we have like a little bit of a weld. That's a really bad weld at this point. So we just need to bring the thickness down quite a bit, and we can bring down our strength. Okay, and all we really need to do is get it at 0 actually. So we get this nice little kind of extra little ribbon. You can actually almost make this with the splines and use the tools within that. But this is a great way because it gives you a little bit of, if you want a little bit of noise to this, you can do that just to kind of give it a cool look there. Okay, but I'm going to go with 0 here. And we got some spread. I don't think that's going to do anything. We have our size. Nothing really matters here at this point. Okay, so we do have a nice, maybe just bring the thickness down a bit. It's about 0.8. And if you look here, we got a nice weld. Okay, so that's going to work very nicely. All right, so in this area here, what we can do is we can create a shell. Okay, we can go to the outer. Right. Something like that. So now you can see we got the two sides here. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna have to do another Boolean operation to our middle here, where our lug nuts and or where the threads are going to be here. That's going to actually bolt into the car or into the wheel well. So let's create that. All right, and we can do that by again using a cylinder. Okay, and we'll just kind of draw this out. We can do 56. Okay, we'll add some height. We'll just make sure it's in the center of X. Or 0. And then from there we can now bring up a radius. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, something like this. And we'll just kind of center this guy as best we can. Okay, and then I'm going to bring up our effect pivot, and we are going to center this guy again. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're on our angle snap. We're going to come over and we're just going to hit Shift, and we're going to drag this, let's see here, 55 degrees, I believe. Okay, 75. Let's just see if this works quite well. Okay, so to bring that guy up one notch. And now what we can do is just take these guys. Actually, we'll just bring them back around. One more time. Okay. There we go. And then all we have to do now is, again, just attach. Let's move that guy. There we go. Let's attach these guys together. Okay, we'll convert to another poly. And I'll just use the attach here. Just grab these guys like so. We're in the center. I'm just going to do a Boolean operation here. Let's come down to our Create tool, drop down menu, Compound Objects, Proboolean, start picking. Okay, and there you have it. We can also do the editable mesh. Okay, or edit mesh modifier here. If you want, we can also bevel this as well. Whoop. Select everything here. Smooth modifier. Grab this guy. Let's take it off. And I might just do this guy as well. Let's grab these guys. Ring. Select. Collapse. Grab this. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, that's okay. I don't know why I did that technique, but what I was thinking there, I can just actually just do this. There we go. And this over here, for some reason, has a smooth group on it. Just going to remove those guys. Okay, and that's removed as well. And there we have it. Okay, so not bad. Okay, It's not the cleanest way, but it's also not that bad of a route to go if you are just wanting to get some nice looking brake rotors that you can use for your car models or your bike models, whatever it is. This works quite nice. All right, so we're almost there for the modeling section of this video. What we need to do now is we can grab this guy here. Okay, we can let's rotate this 180 degrees. Okay, and we can now have the other side here. Oh, another thing we got to do. Sorry, I meant to grab this guy as well. Okay, and let's just fix that. Let's take the grid down here. Let's just bring these guys together. Okay. Just want to make sure they're on the right angle there by just changing our mirror. Okay, that is. So that works quite nice. Okay, and then we just have to now do an array. And that's pretty much giving us these little cylinders here, these little notches. Okay, so we're just going to get those guys, and then we're pretty much complete of the modeling of the rotor. So let's get into that here. Let's go to our front. For some reason that's just not doing it here. Make sure I didn't hit the space bar. Okay, so we're going to go to the top view here. So Max just had a little bit of a weird glitch there. Okay. Let's come over to our top section here, and let's create a cylinder. Okay, we can do 36. Just kind of just drag this guy out. Okay, we'll take some segments down, make sure they're at 1. We're just going to grab the height of this guy and just bring it up, just so these guys are intersecting with each other here. Okay, maybe something like so. Let's hit the top button here. Set the T for top. Then we can just bring up our radius maybe a little bit more as well. Okay, so I'm going to go 5.5. Height around 2. Alright. Now let's just go over to our effect. Pivot only. Transform, or sorry, not transform. We want to just go in and make sure this is the center of the grid. Okay, set all this to 0, and our pivot is. We can come over to our tools again, and we'll hit array. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our rotate here. We're just going to bring this over, and to our Z, we're going to say it's 360 degrees. All right, we're going to preview this. Okay, and then once we have that, we can bring our count. And I think I grabbed the wrong guy here. Let's just grab this guy. Let's go back to our tools here. I had the wrong, I think I grabbed the disc. 360 degrees. Preview that. There we go. Okay, we can just bring this up until it just tightens up. Okay, so I was going to say about 50. We'll hit OK. Make sure it's not an instance. Okay, and there you have it. All right, so that pretty much looks like this guy here as the model. Okay, so we're pretty close. And now we are finished with the modeling. We can now get into the rendering. I'm going to use Octane Render for this tutorial. It's an excellent render engine. I love using it. And you can pretty much do the same techniques with any other render engine, especially like V-Ray. It's pretty much that same kind of technique within the bump maps and everything. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in the next video where we start to render and get some kind of some color into this guy and get some nice little result here that we have that's on our screen here on the right side. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.